Hi, my name is Guy Morales. This is my Theater Survey Spring 2020 final. I will be doing this final on Dr. Faustus. Dr. Faustus is a scholar who thinks he has learned everything there is to know about human knowledge. He is then approached by two magicians who teach him about dark magic. Then Faustus summons the Mephistopheles devil and agrees that if the devil grants him 24 years of power, with Mephistopheles being his servant, he will give up his soul to Lucifer. After Mephistopheles leaves, two angels appear, the good angel and the bad angel. The good angel is telling him to not make the bond, and the bad angel is telling him to go with the plan. When Mephistopheles returns, he has a contract from Lucifer, which Dr. Faustus signs with his own blood. At first, Dr. Faustus is concerned about the deal he had just made, but Mephistopheles gives him luxurious gifts and different presents that calm him down. One of those gifts was a book about dark magic. Lucifer, to calm down Faustus's nerves, makes the seven deadly sins appear. The exposition is when the chorus is telling the story from the outside. The rising action is when Faustus begins to become entranced with the idea of dark magic. The climax is when Faustus makes the deal with Mephistopheles, which is then approved by Lucifer. The falling action is when he begins doing things with his new knowledge of dark magic. Things that he did was messing with the Pope's ear, which brings him to be called upon the Emperor of Germany. Since the Emperor of Germany is the enemy of the Pope, this makes Faustus that much more enchanting to the Emperor. Faustus then makes a statue of Alexander the Great appear, and the Emperor is impressed. The resolution is when Dr. Faustus begins to overthink and starts to regret his decision about selling his soul. An old man appears to him and tells him to repent when to do so, and then he doesn't repent and is whisked away by demons. Christopher Marlowe was a poet and a dramatist. Something that I found interesting when researching the playwright was that he was only a few months older than Shakespeare. Marlowe was one of the most renowned playwrights, yet once Shakespeare began to push his writing, he surpassed Marlowe's talent. Other works Marlowe is famous for are The Jew of Malta, Tamburlaine, and many more, all written in the 1500s and 1600s. This information was helpful to me because it helps me picture the time frame at which these plays were written. After reading about this play, I found out that there was an original play that had been lost. The first name as Dr. Faustus had been changed, and the last name had sometimes been referred to as Faust. The characters in this play are set back in a past time. Thus, the characters would be wearing old clothes, the men would be wearing nice clothes but made of old fabric. Wagner would be wearing ragged clothes since he is the servant. Since this is more of a twisted play, I see the angel wearing fabric, but it kind of is dirty. The evil angel would be wearing a black cloak with a hood. The magicians would be wearing very colorful clothing with many layers. The scholars would be wearing nicer suits with glasses and top hats. The clowns, I would believe, would not look like a normal clown. I see him wearing a lot of different layers with a lot of different patterns. The deadly seven sins would all be wearing different dark colors. The things that would have a more dark silhouette would be the chorus and all of the sins. This set design. Throughout the play, you see an eerie feeling throughout. Due to the creepy word choice and what happens in the play, you see that there is not much light when reading this play. The name itself gives off a sinister vibe. The tragedy. There is nothing that begins with the word tragedy that ends well. With this being said, if I were to direct this play, the set design would be dark, foggy, and a little bit dirty looking, yet with a little bit of refinement. The reason for refinement would be that Dr. Faustus almost has an arrogant personality to him that makes for him being dressed nice and having his study put together for the most part. I do not see him sitting in a room full of papers with books scattered. I see some disorganization, but not much. Since this play is set in an old time, I would make the decorations raggedy with old dirty cloth hanging around and cobwebs to give an old wooden study. The audience would be focusing on the main focal point, which is the desk where Dr. Faustus would be spending most of the time. There would be drops of giant wood platforms so that the study looks bigger than the actual stage is. When picturing the setting, I'm not seeing too much space being unused. I picture things being very spread out so that you can see each individual prop. If there is a prop on stage, there is a purpose.